Hello and welcome to Kidder Farms. We're back with another episode of Royalton, Minnesota. And we had a live stream episode here since the last normal episode, I guess I'll call them. And we really jumped into harvest here. And so we finished up our corn harvest. We knocked out this big field of sunflowers over here. We kicked off potato harvest, and we cut our alfalfa field, so it was a busy live stream. And now we're going to jump over here and start harvesting our second field of sunflowers here, and continue on with our potato harvest. Man, that potato harvest is slow. The base game equipment is 2 rows at a time, and I was hoping that we were going to use some of the new Grimmy DLC equipment, but not so much luck there. That's 1 row at a time, so we're going to take our 2 rows at a time and let that keep going. But I don't know how much more potatoes we're going to want to do if we're going to have to harvest them 2 rows at a time. I have yet to find any good American-style, slightly larger potato harvesting equipment. The self-propelled ones are a little bit bigger, but typically in the US, I mostly see these pull-behind style harvesters. So I don't know what we're going to do there yet, but I think maybe next root crop we try is going to be sugar beets. I know for a fact there's some good North American style sugar beet mods out there, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. And it looks like our potato harvester is full over there as well. So let's jump over there and see what we can do to resolve that. Now, I don't have this course set up for course play quite right for some reason. It switched from going around with the auger on the outside to going with the auger on the inside. And since we're most of the way done with this field, I really don't want to monkey with it. And so I've just been driving the truck manually, and whenever it gets full, I just pull the truck up here, let it empty into the truck, and the course play driver is going to figure that out and get back in the rows here. So not too worried about it. And we're just going to keep going with this sunflower harvest. Mostly because I can't bring myself to manually run a 2-row implement. And so this doing the live streams in the middle of the series here as an actual episode is something new that I've been trying out. We tried it on Flint Hills a couple weeks ago. We're trying it here this last weekend with Royalton. So let me know what you think, if that's something that you'd like to see more of. Or if it doesn't really work for you. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. I'm still not sure what this grass section here on the corner was intended to be. I figure we should probably get the plow out and turn it into a little bit of additional field space here at some point. Maybe we'll remember to do that here as we get done with the sunflower harvest. Well, let's just take a quick look here. I'm curious if sunflowers require plowing afterwards. It doesn't look like it. It looks like just our corn will. And so we've got this whole additional field of potatoes yet to go. And just given how slow that harvester's going, I'm almost tempted to lease a second harvester and get it going on this field right now. And just speed things up a little bit. We might have to look into doing that here once we get back up to the end rows, because otherwise I think this is just going to take a really long time. Now, I'm kind of curious, what is a potato harvester going to cost to lease? It's not too bad, 7,000. Because we might just lease another one and see if we can wrap this field up. Well, I say wrap this field up, but honestly, I think that that's probably 3+ hours of potato harvest to go right there. So maybe get a head start would be a better way to phrase that. On the flip side, I guess that potato harvester's getting closer to done on that field. So what we might do is just wait for him to wrap up, and then we'll just set up course play and let it take care of this field off camera and just check back in when it's done. So we're getting dangerously close to being full here. I'm really hoping we get to the end row, just because I want to be able to empty in that truck. And I mean, I guess we got this big grass area here on the side that we're going to be able to pull off into if absolutely necessary. But it's just going to drive me nuts that we miss it by, I don't know, 10 feet here. Oh, well. It happens sometimes, and it looks like our potato harvester caught up with the truck that we left parked in the field. So while this empties, I guess we should come back out here and get our truck out of the way. As long as we were here, we went ahead and emptied the potato harvester, and now we're just gonna send it back up to the silos to unload. Really wish auto drive wouldn't drive across my fields, but it is what it is. So let's go ahead and jump back over here into our sunflower harvesting machine and get this thing rolling. We've got one more headland pass I want to take off on each end here, I think. I really wish I'd just done both headlands when I was down there, so that I didn't have to worry about it again, but alas, we didn't think of it. And so the good news here is that once we take this headland off, we should be able to go down and back without any problems, and then just unload every time we're up on this end of the field. And so that's going to work really handy for us. And as long as we're heading down, we might as well get our AB lines on the GPS going here. Let us kind of square up the squirrely edge of this field over here, and hopefully keep us on the straight on the other side as well here. I'm not sure where that's going to line up exactly, but once we get down there, we'll check it out. And we're going to just take the headland off down here as well, and then see about where our GPS track is going to line up going back up to the other end. I'd rather not monkey with it since we just squared off the other side, so wherever it ends up being is where we're gonna let it go, I think. So let me turn this off and hire a worker so that we can head over here and empty the potato harvester. Auto drive looks like it's gonna make the attempt. Maybe this is actually gonna work. If it does, I will ignore this in the future. I'm just a little bit nervous about this. I'm losing a few potatoes onto the roof of the car, but yeah, it's working. So we're just gonna hang out here for a second, see what happens when it's done unloading, unless I see our combine getting to the end row, because he needs to unload when he gets to the end row. So alright, it looks like the 7R has finished unloading and is going to just go ahead and get back onto its path here. So yeah, I guess all is well in the world of course play. He misses a little bit due to that pullout, but nothing to complain about. We can either come back and pick those up, or honestly just count those as some lost crops at this point. And we're made it back up here just in time to catch our combine and get him unloaded. We're gonna jump right back into the same rows over here, I think, and just start working our way down from the long end of the field here, which should be good. This should square up the last of these messy rows here as well. Alright, so we made the turnaround here, and we've got 39% of our hopper filled, so not too worried about running out of space in this guy anymore. And if we jump over here and look at the precision farming map, you can see we're getting 90% yields on this field, which I think probably makes sense given that we're into the silty clay here. So loam being the best soil type, If we click on these fields here in the normal view map, I think if we go to the buy menu, you can see that our expected yield potential is below the 100% mark. So we expect to not be yielding at maximum value. So with that, it looks like our tractor's ready to be unloaded again. I'm not sure if AutoDrive's going to figure this out right now or not. It did the previous time, but this time he seems to be a little bit out of sorts. He's not going to do anything. So I guess what we'll do is get to the end row here, unload this combine, and if that truck still isn't moving, we'll hop over there and deal with the potatoes. All right, this truck is most definitely not moving, so let's see about getting it going. And we'll just sneak right on over here and put her right under this unload point. Now, I wish I was able to just leave this truck here, but I don't think that the tractor and the potato harvester would be able to get back around it on the next pass. Maybe if I back it up just a bit like so. We'll leave it there and see what happens, although right now it's saying it's in traffic, so I guess I should pull forward. Well, now that we're here, I might as well just get this guy completely out of the way. Like so. And next time we set up a course play course for this, we're definitely going to have to pay a little bit more attention and make sure the lines are going in the right way so that we don't end up with this minor inconvenience of having to unload stopped every once in a while. But to be honest, out of the grand scheme of things with harvesting those potatoes, it's not really slowing us down that much. And I just realized during the live stream we took out a pretty sizable loan to buy a second truck so that we could keep things moving. And we're going to repay as much of that loan as we can here real quick, which gets us to just over $1 million in a loan still. So that's pretty substantial. Hopefully we're going to be able to pay that down here. If we look at the seasons menu and kind of dial in on potatoes here, I think the high point for potatoes is in winter here. And so I expect to recover a lot of our cost then. And we've got washed potatoes here, which should just be the same pattern but a higher price. And so the potato washer is a global company mod that we installed because this map does have native or requires global company for other things. I don't use global company for a lot of things typically, but I saw the potato washer and knew we were going to be doing potatoes, so it felt like a good fit for this map. And so we'll be leveraging that to hopefully increase our profit here as we get into the winter. Heading back down to the truck once again. This job isn't going to take us very long. It looks like maybe 5-10 minutes here, and we'll be able to wrap up the rest of this sunflower harvest. I'm really liking this S650. It's a nice, solid combine. I tend to go towards the biggest thing that you can possibly get, you know, 780s or the X9s, but this is a good, solid combine. I really like it. The details are nice, and so it's a nice change of pace to use something a little bit different from time to time. Sometimes it's just easier to whip around in a circle than it is to back up. And it looks like our potato harvester is getting to be on pretty much the same cycle as we are. And so every time we need to dump, it seems to be right around the time that the potatoes need to be emptied here as well. So we're gonna sneak in here and get a load of potatoes. Luckily, I don't think this is gonna be in the way. So I'm just gonna leave it there. And we should be good to get back to sunflower harvesting. I'm enjoying being able to hop back and forth between these. Keeps it a little bit less monotonous when I'm sitting there waiting for grain to unload. I hate watching grain unload. So this is a good pace for us. And we haven't checked on our cows since the live stream. We lost 2 cows during the live stream because I fast forwarded time and didn't pay attention to the fact that I hadn't fed them. So we often have neglected our animals in other series in the past. So it's inevitable that we're going to lose an animal or 2 here or there. So we'll have to try and pay attention before we fast forward time again. We're making progress, and once again it looks like our potato harvester is getting ready to be emptied down here, so we're gonna jump over there and get this truck ready to go. This timing could not be any better for us. Now I'm just trying to make sure that that 7R stays out of traffic so I don't have to sit here and babysit. And away we go. Well, looks like the potato harvester figured it out as well. And we're just in the groove. We're gonna knock this harvest out in no time. So we're taking off the last of the quote-unquote long rows here. There's just a few rows left up here. It's not that they were so long that it's gonna really shorten anything up, but it is an important milestone in this field, I suppose. And so we're just going to town here. Oh, I can see the potato harvester backing up for his unload right as we're flipping around here to do our own. Now, I don't think this truck is gonna hold this whole hopper of sunflowers, but I guess we'll see. And we'll check in on it here. This truck also looks like the potatoes are starting to fill up here, so we may need to turn our HUD on here shortly and kind of get a feel for where we're at. Looks like 82% here, 85%, so I think we should definitely send this truck back up to the storage and get it emptied out here. I'm just realizing that I spelled potato wrong on the auto drive point, so that's a touch embarrassing. But let's get this guy going right back up here, and if we just hit drive, I think he should figure that out. And then if we jump down here and look at this cat, we are 100% full. So I think what we'll do is actually bring the combine back out here, fire a worker off because we've been doing pretty good here, and we're on these quote-unquote shorter rows, so we don't need quite as much capacity to get to the end row. And I think he can make it there and back without any assistance, and we're right at 1 perfect header width, so I think it'll be alright. And while the helper finishes off this last pass, we can run this truck back up to the bins and get it dumped in there. And then at that point, we really only got these potatoes left to do, and hopefully this alfalfa is going to dry out here over the next day or so. We should probably go check on that here before we wrap up this episode. First, we're going to let these sunflowers go, and if we come out here and just check with our tool, we're at 20% moisture, so I think this needs to get under 15 in order to dry out, which will be good. And we've dumped all of our sunflower out here, so we'll run this back over to the field edge here, just because we don't want to try and maneuver the combine into the bin site there, I don't think. I think it'd be a bit much to try and get the unload auger pointed over that dump site, so we're gonna just put it right out here and unload on the field edge. Looks like he's turning around here, so we're gonna double check. It looks like our cat's on the way back here, so everything seems to be going a-okay. We might as well take back over from this guy though and do this ourselves. Final pass of sunflower harvest. Proud moment for the farm. Hopefully this is going to make some money. Now, I haven't actually looked at the sunflower economics. When do sunflowers sell? Let's find out here. Looks like sunflowers are probably going to sell last day of winter, first day of spring. And so I guess the good news is we'll be selling all of our crops before next spring, so we'll have plenty of working capital for whatever we need to do. And here we are. Final pass completed. We're going to go ahead and just unload this right here and now. And it looks like auto drive is out in the field again already. I'm not sure if it's figuring out how to get to this tractor or not. It's always fun to watch Courseplay doing its thing at a distance and wondering what's going on. I don't think it's doing anything, so we're going to jump over here. And, oh, it is doing something. It looks like we're on our last couple of passes here, you know, outside of a few bits missed here and there for potatoes. We've got one more round of potatoes here, so I'm actually really amused that we managed to wrap up both of these fields at pretty much the same time or within a pass of each other. And so that's pretty neat. We're going to go ahead and fold up this header and just make our lives a little bit easier getting through the yard here. And we need to make sure that we head on over here and hit this thing with the pressure washer, because we got it a little dirty, not too dirty, but we don't want to put it back in the shed covered in grime. With that all washed up, we're going to go ahead and just back this right up into the shed here, get it out of the way, get it all squared away. And it looks like we've got plenty of room here. Put the header down and call it good. I love how that just spins on its own. Nothing connected to it. Always something. And what do we got going on here? We've got the 7R. Looks like he's picking up the final pass. So let's run down here, jump into this cat, and see what we can do to unload him. I'm not sure it's going to be worth trying to come back and pick up these couple of scraggly bits with the potato harvester here. I'm not going to lie, I'm probably just going to leave them. But I am super curious to see how many how much potatoes we're gonna sell. If I look here at washed potatoes, it looks like we're gonna sell somewhere in the 525 range, at least right now. They are not quite so good. Oh, 530, 521. So they're not too bad, actually. I'm kind of curious to see how many potatoes we have. That's per ton, and so I guess that's a different measurement than what we're seeing on the season screen here, but we can't really trust this delta here until you've been through the full year of seasons. The pain of using unit convert with seasons is that those two things don't tend to match up until you've been through a full season. And the last thing I want to do is run up here and check on what our total capacities ended up being. I'm kind of curious to see how many potatoes we actually ended up with, considering we still have one more entire field to go. I'll be interested to see how full this potato enclosure is, root crop storage. At least it's still taking potatoes, which is always good. It'd be kind of cool if there was like a fill plane inside to show the fullness level. But we've got 207 tons of potatoes. It looks like we hold 413. And so we're half full with one field of potatoes. If I look at the map here, it looks like field 30 is a little bit wider than field 28. And so maybe they'll be about the same. I think we're going to get a little bit more potatoes out of field 28. So we might be trying to figure out what we're doing with some of these potatoes. And then if I just come right back around here and check our silo system, I'm kind of curious to see how many bushels of sunflowers we've got. We got 2,637 bushels of sunflowers and 1,579 bushels of dry corn to do something with. So we're definitely in a nice spot here from a harvest perspective. I think we're going to make a fair amount of money. I don't know that we're going to make back all of the money we've spent in this series so far, but that's okay. We're making progress, so that's all for today. Kedrick, out.